program?
I mean, it means a lot. We worked hard all summer, all fall, all year to get to this position, and so we're just excited, but we're locked in for UIC. So.
Yeah, obviously this is a team that you guys only got to see once this year with that first game against them being canceled. What do you guys remember about them, and what do you guys take away from that first contest against them?
I mean, they're a really talented team. They got some good players. They play really good, play really fast offensively. They started to play fast offensively. Like I said, we just do the same thing we did last time, stick to the game plan that coach got for us, and we should end up on top.
What's it going to take for you guys to go out there, beat them tomorrow night? What do you guys have to do well offensively, defensively?
Just be us. Just do the same thing we've been doing for the last month. And yeah, like I said, just follow the game plan that coach got for us, and just, like I said, just be us.
Going into this tournament, what's the mentality of this team? I think in years past, you guys have been the hunter, and now you are one of the hunted as a conference champion.
Yeah, you're right. We just got an edge about ourselves. They picked us, I forgot, but we were like low, like number 9 or number 10 or something like that. So we still think about that to this day, even though we won. You know what I'm saying? So we got an edge about us. We got a chip on our shoulder, and I think everybody is locked in and ready to make a run.
If there's one X factor or one key to Thursday night's game, what would that be for the Dons?
I know it sounds cliche, but just be us. You know what I'm saying? Even when stuff gets hard, coach always says, just be us, be locked in, stay disciplined, and I think we should end up on top.
What does it mean to be able to host the first round and get on your home court for the first game?
And it means a lot. Thinking it's going to be a packed house, so that's going to help us a lot. And like the whole city is kind of excited for this game, so it means a lot for us.
As you said, dust settled, so we're focused on this next game and not really thinking about that.
Obviously, you guys bringing UIC here tomorrow night. Only got one game against them earlier this year due to just COVID protocols and stuff that first game. But what do you guys remember about that game? What do you take away from that game? Can you take anything away from that game that first time?
I mean, we watch the film, just go over what they do. They play hard, they rebound, they crash, so just making little adjustments, go off that.
When you look at what this team has done well here over the last month or so to win these 9 straight, how much do you guys look at what you guys have done and take that into tomorrow night's game and just try and not really change what you guys have really been doing?
Yeah, just do what we've been doing all season. Stick to being us, like Coach says.
In years past, going into this tournament, you guys have been the hunter. Now you are the hunted as one of the conference champs. What's the mentality of this team going in as one of the favorites now in a tournament like this?
Just block out the outside noise and be us.
For you during this stretch, what's really been clicking? You've obviously become a big part of the offense, and things are going well in terms of efficiency offensively. What is going well on that side of the basketball that you're looking to carry over to Thursday night?
I mean, I've said it, but just be us. Do what we've done. Cut on offense. We got a lot of guys that could score, so keep doing that.
Do you think there's an edge focus really kind of around this team right now that that you guys are still kind of hungry, wanting more, even though you guys did win a conference title and everything?
Yeah, definitely. We want to win as many games as we could. So,
what would it mean for you to be able to be part of a group that takes this team to its first NCAA tournament?
I mean, that'd be huge to be the first team at the school to do that.
What's the mindset going to be like when you step on the court tomorrow night? What's that moment going to be like?
Just play hard.
We got a chance to watch the first round yesterday, so we know who we play. So we had a good prep day, and we'll continue to prep up until game time.
I was going to say, what's the mindset of this team as you guys head in tomorrow? Do you feel like there's still a certain edge or so about this group as you guys head into tomorrow?
Oh, for sure, most definitely. Because like I said, we all know our job isn't done yet. We didn't come, we didn't play how we played just to win the regular season championship. We got much bigger goals than that. So. We're still locked in on reaching those.
Obviously, you got a USC team who you only got to see once this year, but what do you remember about that game, really just a few weeks back, but what do you remember about that game, about that team that you guys can take into tomorrow?
Well, they're a really good group, really talented team. They got some really talented players. But I feel like if we lock in on being us and, doing what we do, and keep playing with that edge and competitive fire we've been playing with, we'll be all right.
What was the experience like watching the first round games with the team and kind of getting ready, knowing we're going to play one of these teams?
It was definitely crazy to think about because I was just thinking, last year we was playing on that day. We was actually in Wisconsin, in Green Bay playing on that day in the first round. So, it kind of felt good to be able to watch, but, like I said, we know we're not done yet.
As someone who's been here for a while, what would it mean to you personally to be able to take this group to its first NCAA tournament?
Oh, that would mean a whole lot to me. That's been my biggest goal ever since I stepped foot on this campus is, after I heard that we never been to the tournament, I wanted to kind of be a part of that first group that made it to the NCAA tournament.
What's it going to take above anything else to get that win tomorrow against USC?
I feel like just being us, doing what we do and how we've been doing it. Obviously, that's got us some wins here. So, I don't feel like we should change anything or, change too much besides some minor tweaks, scout-wise. But just, doing what we do, coming out, playing hard, competing, and, defending.
Awesome. Thanks, Jared.
Good Monday.
Good luck tomorrow.
Bet. Thank you.
I hadn't really even reflected on that. We've been talking a lot about not having any more, very few firsts left, and when we got to 8, that was a first in a row. When we got to 9, that was a first in a row. I guess it does feel special, particularly the way it happened. The fact that we're sitting at 5 and 7. We start out league play at 1 and 3, and to just start stringing things together and be playing our best basketball down the stretch of the year. I've been doing this 24 years, and 9 in a row is really hard to do. It's hard to maintain that high level of play, particularly when 4 on the road. And the last weekend being against, 2 of the top teams in the league with some of the best players in the league when you look at, all league players and so forth. But yeah, it is special. Now, what we've had to work hard with our guys is how to appreciate it. And we talked about yesterday when we came into practice, we'd have flushed that. All those positive emotions, that we had gotten out of that, those are flushed, and now, we're hunting a fight. We want to dominate the league, and how do you do that? We're looking for who do we have next, and we didn't know who we were going to have until 10 o'clock. So it's like, hey, whoever it is, that's the group that's in our way. And so, as it turns out, last night it's late, it's 10 o'clock, and there's still 3 teams that we potentially could have as a flip through. But I'm really excited where this team is right now and their mindset, because they're not overlooking anything. They're not satisfied. This group is hungry to take that next step and excited. Horizon League home game for a tournament. How special is that? A little different than Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah,
Both players talked about maintaining identity and that being a huge key for Thursday night. Why has that been kind of your message to stress to them?
Well, we've been building towards this all year long, starting back in June. And things come together because our group has been responding at a high level. Every time I sit in a huddle, we have a group meeting, we're in practice, they're responding. They are focused and disciplined at a high level, and that's why we've been on this trajectory of improving. And so, it's as it came into a late scout, even though we have the bye, it's not like we had the advantage of preparation. We find out the same time they did. And, that's not a worry with this group, because this group, it's about our brand. We've been dominating the stretch of this season because we're putting our dominant brand of defense on the floor. We're our pickup point, our crowds, we're turning people over, doing that. And then offensively, we're doing what we always have done. We're creating space and attacking space, and we're playing fast, we're shooting the basketball, and we're doing that at a high level. And that's where we've been playing really good defense for the entire month of February. Shots have been dropping, and the flow has really been on the offensive end the last 2 or 3 weeks. And when you put it all together, this is a good group to make a run at the tournament.
I'm going to assume that you're going to give all the credit to your assistant coaches and your players, but to win Coach of the Year in the conference, in the league, what did that mean to you to find that out?
You know what? It's secondary to winning the league. I got yelled at by my wife when at 2 o'clock it came out, and I was in a meeting with another coach on campus. We were just talking about, some different cultural stuff going on campus. What do we got to do for this? And then all of a sudden it's like 3:30, and my wife had called me a couple of times. She had seen it on Twitter. A couple people had called her, and I get home and she blitzes me. And I said, honestly, it was kind of an afterthought. I was so locked into winning the league and what that means to this group and getting a 2 seed and finishing the right way. But it is a huge tribute to, what our coaches have done, our assistants. The fact that, this roster is made up of a group that, we got our core back from last year. It was the only team in the country that shot 50 and 40, and you had teams all over the country transferring all over the place, blowing up rosters, and our roster stuck together. And then we added some critical pieces because I got good assistants that recruited really, really well. And then our players, great player leadership. All that stuff. Like you don't win a coach's award if you don't have players that are listening. I can tell them all I want. Our assistants can tell them all I want. But if they're not doing it, putting it on the floor and executing and holding each other accountable, none of it's going to work. So I look at that as synonymous with winning the regular season title.
UIC, you played them. The first game was canceled, but you played them really just two and a half weeks ago. What do you remember from that game? What can you take away from that game that you can reapply this time?
Well, I remember they had an edge about them because of leaving the league and some of the funk that went through with some of that. And for them, this is kind of their last hurrah in the Horizon League, and so they have some motivation. They're uber talented. I mean, a really, really talented group. And, we saw that at the highest level. They came out here and started out the game 11-0 against us. If you look at what they've been doing over the last 2-3 weeks, they've been winning games. And they're playing at a high level right now, too. So we have a respect for what they do. They put some huge challenges towards us with, they got a pick and pop 5 that stretches you out. They have some downhill guards that are really, really good. They're as good as anybody in the league at rebounding the basketball. And they got a number of guys that can put the ball in the hole. But also with Franklin, I mean, he's as good as anybody in the league at being able to, make a play at the end of a shot clock. And so, huge challenges from that end. And, they came in saying, hey, we can't get a home game because of league rules and so forth, and they go on the road and they win a game. And so, they're feeling some confidence, and they feel like, hey, if they come here to Fort Wayne, they can even it all out and go to neutral sites. So, they got that edge as well.
When you take a look at the mentality of this team, you mentioned it's the same, to a degree, the same group of guys that you've had in years past. They've gone into these tournaments as the hunter before. Now you are one of the hunted as a conference champion. Does that change the mentality, or what is the mentality of this team, knowing that kind of from the periphery, it's a little bit different than it has been in years past?
Honestly, I don't really feel that. Our years in the Summit League, I mean, early on in my time in the Summit League when I was assistant, we played in the championship game, and then my year 2, we win the league. I mean, we're always in the top 3 or 4 going through. I always felt like we were the hunted. I mean, heck, you got John Concha on your roster with that group. You got Big Steve. You got Louis Jacobo, Pierre Bland, Max Landis. I mean, we've had some of the best players that have played in the Summit League in the last 2 decades coming from our roster. So I've always felt that. If you look back at last year with COVID and how things were managed, last year was a little bit different on that. Are we hunted? I absolutely feel that way. I also feel a little disrespected on some of that stuff. Like I think we got some guys on our roster that deserve some more all league accolades. We had the best defense in the league, and I felt like we should have had 3 or 4 guys on the all defensive team. I thought we had another guy or 2 that should have made some of the all league teams. So with that sort of stuff, I mean we're building that, and that's where we've got respected in the Summit League, because year after year after year we're at the top of the league and we had really good players. This is all new for us, and so I told these guys, after the accolades came out, and I thought some guys were missing. And kind of some of the respect. I mean, we started the year, ranked number, preseason pick number 9. Like I chuckled at that. Like, we're not number 9. I mean, you look at what we got coming back. This is a talented group. We get out of COVID, and this is the right group to push ourselves out of COVID. We handled things differently last year that was not as conducive to winning as maybe how some other people handled it. And this was the group that pushed it to get us back to who we have. It's a great personality group. We're an older group. Luckily, we got most of these guys coming back, so we'll be older again next year. But it's a mature group that I think can handle, being the hunted, as you say, but also just continue that edge of we're hunting right now.
Well, this is probably the most difficult question to ask, but Solaire Starks sang the national anthem before the women's game the other day. If you had to pick one player from your team to sing the national anthem, who would it be and why?
I would guarantee it would not be myself. And as I reflect back, I was an 8th grader, my first year at Catholic school, and I had been playing football for 2 weeks. and Miss Hovey, I still remember her name. I was advised, okay, band or chorus. Chorus would be a little easier for somebody who's not musically talented. So I went in and we started lines as you sang a few notes, and then she put you in lines, okay? And then at the very end, the bell rang, and she goes, okay, you guys are altos, sopranos, bass, and then came over to me at the very end and said, Jon, I want you to know you're a very special young man. Miss Hovey told me, you're going to be turning pages for the pianist all semester long. We'll let you sit in the back row as long as you promise not to just to mouth the words. So I can't say who I would not want in there, except for I know I would not want myself. That would be very embarrassing.